Hello and welcome to the University of Law. This is a particularly exciting video and it's the first in a series of 3 videos which I'm calling 59 Who, and it's where we go through the 3 announcements, all the 3 reveals I was most excited about from Doctor Who's 59th birthday on the 23rd of November 2022. Now, I think we were really spoiled this year. I think this is the most exciting Doctor Who day we've ever had. I mean, for the first part, this artwork you can see here is my favourite. It's instantly become my desktop theme. I just absolutely love this artwork. It's got the diamond in the background. We've got all the Doctors. Yeah, just absolutely fantastic. I did have some predictions with my friends about what we might get. I know in previous years they've announced like BBC releases, maybe a collection box set or an animation, and I thought, well, I doubt they'll be announcing a collection box set just yet because they've got season 2 to come. Animations seem to have stopped, so I thought that might lead the way for a Big Finish announcement, because Big Finish don't tend to announce if the BBC are. So I think we might get, because I knew that in the podcast they talked about potentially revealing their big special for the 60th, and that is what we got. Now, in addition, I also thought we'd get the 9th Doctor release, and we did, because we did last year with a wonderful trailer as well, and there was a few other reveals that I'll talk through in other videos. Also, just to mention, we did previously get the announcement of the new companion. A few people speculated we might get that for the anniversary, but we got that in advance, and there's a great video on YouTube with just wonderful chemistry between our new Doctor and companion, so I couldn't be more excited about the future. But before we get to 15 and our new companion, Ruby Sunday, we are going to be exploring what's happening in the 60th year, and that's what a lot of these announcements were about. So without further ado, today's video is going to focus on the Big Finish special. So it's the first of 3 videos. There's some other announcements we're going to go into in future videos, but this is just about once and future. So there was a wonderful reveal on YouTube, fantastic video, and this is the logo, Doctor Who Once and Future. I'll be discussing that lovely diamond later on in another video, but here we are for Once and Future. So on the website it says, since landing in 1963, Doctor Who has made history as the world's longest running action adventure TV show. As we head into the anniversary year, it's time to revisit the past and commemorate the legacy of those who came before. And this is the synopsis for the series. The Time War. The Doctor has been injured and brought to a Time Lord field hospital. His body glows with energy, but this is no regeneration into a future form. Instead, the Doctor's past faces begin to appear as he flits haphazardly between incarnations. Staggering to his TARDIS, the Doctor sets out to solve the mystery of his degeneration. What has done this to him? How and why? From the Earth to the stars, across an array of familiar times and places, he follows clues to retrace his steps, encountering old friends and enemies along the way. Tumbling through his lives, the Doctor must stop his degeneration before he loses himself completely. So yeah, that sounds really exciting. It's called Once and Future. What I like is the fact that it's set in the Time War. Means that, because Time War basically is the hinge between the classic and the new series. So by having that, it's the glue that keeps it all together. And I think by setting it, then you can include both new and old. So you can celebrate everything, the once and the future. Also of interest is the degeneration, that it's kind of what we're seeing on screen. So whether there's going to be links, I know in Doctor Who magazine recently they did talk about there being more links between the show and the spin-offs. Although this has been, as I'll discuss, this has been in production for quite a while, but there might be links. We'll see. So the website goes on to say that Once and Future stars Tom Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, Chris Eccleston and David Tennant, with dozens more guest casts still to be revealed. So what you can see here is the headline, which is the actors that they have on roll who have played the Doctor on screen. So Tom Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, McCoy, McGann, Eccleston, Tennant. Notably, obviously, we're getting Chris Eccleston in a multi-Doctor story, which is absolutely fantastic. Producer David Rickson has said, an astonishing array of talent has come aboard to be a part of this epic 8-hour anniversary story. It's a huge Doctor Who party and a massive celebration that has been years in the making. It's been clarified since that it's been about 3 years in the making. So I'm trying to work out who was on roll. Now, Chris Eccleston, 3 years, it was kind of saying early 2020. He wasn't on there yet, but clearly there's been room to include other actors as they've gone along. So potentially we could get Jo Martin, because she is now an on-screen Doctor Who is on their role. So we could get Jo Martin in a cameo. I think we'll certainly get the first, second, and third played by David Bradley, played by Michael Troughton, and played by Tim Treloar at some point in the drama. Also, I was thinking about this. So if it's set in the Time War, it's either going to be the 8th or the War Doctor. I'd imagine it's the War Doctor who kicks off. I'd imagine we might get Jonathan Carley in a cameo at the beginning, because at the beginning of 2020, although we didn't know it yet, they probably were beginning the process of casting him and, you know, discussing the idea of having the young War Doctor. So it could potentially be that it opens with the young War Doctor on the battlefield. He gets injured and then he gets damaged and he begins to regenerate backwards and forwards, so back to previous and future lives. It would certainly make sense in a Time War to have a Dalek weapon that could do that to a Time Lord, that could, you know, force them to change through their regeneration. So I think that's probably going to be a part of the deal. But what the potential here is that you can just throw everything in it. You can have all the companions, because it says dozens more to be revealed. I'd imagine most companions on their role who are with them will get a cameo of some kind. It talks about them going through time and space, so I reckon we will get loads of different companions. Most exciting of all, though, I think this is where we might get the Ninth Doctor facing the Daleks on audio, because they clearly can't do it otherwise. You can't have the Ninth Doctor face the Daleks, because it would ruin Dalek and Parting of the Ways. It's clear from that series that they're the only two times that Doctor meets the Daleks. So to have it in his usual run, it would take away from that. It just wouldn't be possible. Also, the Master, you can't have the Master till Utopia. So potentially, if it's actually the War Doctor wearing the future Doctor's face, you could have the Chris Eccleston facing Daleks and the Master in this story. So I'm hopeful that we're going to get that. But what's most exciting actually is that this isn't just one big box set. We're going to get it over several releases. It's going to be 8 adventures. I mean, it's going to be released monthly in 7 parts between May and October. I think we're getting 2 parts in October 23. Obviously, they don't want to overshadow the TV series, so it's going to end in October with a double release then. And the Coda coming out in November 24. I'm hoping the main story itself wraps up in 23. Otherwise, we've got 13 months to wait. Although that has happened before. In the 40th anniversary, we had to wait quite a while between Neverland and Zagreus. So, yeah. Well, let's see what happens. They've all got episode names. They look really intriguing, the names. And it looks like we'll just get, you know, a lot of Doctors switching faces. It can be tricky getting them all to meet every time, having a reason why they have to meet. So just having one actor who switches through the faces, one character and he's switching through the faces, that certainly means that we're not going to get them meeting each other. But at least we're going to get an adventure with all of them in it. And maybe there might be a scene at the end where they all come together to wrap it all up. That's possible. That's what they did in the 4 Doctors, which had them all separate and then brought them together at the very end. You can buy it in 2. Obviously, there's the digital download or the CD, the 2 ways you can buy it. However, in addition to that, you can either buy it as a special edition or a standard edition. And the special edition includes extras. From what I gather, it's things like artwork and extra behind the scenes material. So I've gone with the special edition because it's the 60th and why not. But what do you think of this announcement? You're excited about it? What are your thoughts? Got any theories? Let me know in the comments below. If you want more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. I look forward to speaking to you soon.